Bonjour! Welcome to another episode of Cuisine Michelle. I am Michelle. So today for our Christmas countdown number 14, we're going to be making caramel brownies. And this is one of my very favorite recipes for this. I think it's the only recipe I've ever tried for this. I learned it when I was in 9th grade in a cooking class at school. To make this recipe, these are the ingredients you'll need. You need a box mix of chocolate cake. I use usually Betty Crocker's fudge version, so just don't use devil's food. That's the only thing about it. So you can use any of the chocolate versions. I'm going to use this triple chocolate fudge this time. You'll need a stick of salted butter, evaporated milk. You need caramels. So these are, I have already unwrapped them and put them into my pan. So I've kind of got another step ready. But anyway, you're going to need 35 of these caramels that are like this. And you'll need 12 ounces of semi-sweet chocolate chips. Let's get started. Starting off, first you're going to want to heat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Then here in the bowl, put your cake mix, the stick of butter, and 2/3 cup of evaporated milk. Then you got to do your best to stir this all together. I should mention you want your butter to be, of course, be softened. If it's hard, you will not succeed with this. So you're going to stir this until there are no streaks of butter remaining. Once you've got this mixed up, and it does take a bit of arm work to do that, let me tell you, estimate about half of it. You're going to put it in an ungreased 13 by 9 inch pan. See, even now I can see that there's some of it that's still kind of unmixed there. And it's not going to make a big layer because you're going to be saving that other half. So just keep that in mind. And if you notice you have a few butter streaks, just go ahead and work those out. Put this in. All right. Once you've got that spread in there, you're going to put that in the oven for 15 minutes. Meanwhile, while the other part is baking in the oven, you're going to put your heat on low, only low, because otherwise you risk scorching it and you won't have your caramels melt correctly. 35 of those caramels out of that package should be in here, unwrapped, of course. And you're going to put in 1/3 cup of evaporated milk. And we're going to be stirring that and trying to, at first you have to be careful about how you stir it, because yes, you can splash your evaporated milk up at yourself. But anyway, you're going to keep stirring on that until this melts and you have a smooth caramel sauce. So the 15 minutes is up on this baking, and I have finished with this caramel sauce. So I'm just kind of keep it a little bit stirred here while I do this next step. So now we're going to take the 12 ounces of the chocolate chips and sprinkle them over the baked batter. You don't have to let this cool first because we're going to be putting this right back in the oven. So in case you haven't figured out by now, this is a very rich treat. Then we're going to take our caramel sauce and we're going to be drizzling that atop of what we just did. Then last step is with that remaining batter that you have, you're going to be dropping spoonfuls across the top of here. Now we're going to return it to the oven and bake it for an additional 25 to 30 minutes. You want to make sure that the center is set. Right, so this is what it looks like when it first comes out of the oven. These will be really poofed up, but as this cools, you will see that these will deflate a little bit, and that is perfectly normal. And here we are at final plating. So I've let these rest for a couple hours now because I needed to go out to eat, and that is why I'm dressed differently now. Anyway, they're looking good, they're smelling good, so it's definitely time for a taste test, even though I know these are wonderful. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm. They're so good. They're very rich, like I said, but they're so very good. And you could even make them more rich by adding some kind of drizzle on here and make it festive or whatever, but I think they're plenty great on their own. They're definitely special occasion worthy, such as Christmas. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode and that you'll continue to enjoy more episodes here on Cuisine Michel. Very easy if you're subscribed, of course. And especially if you like and share and leave us comments. We love that too. And we'll see you next time. Au revoir. Oh, that should not be out here.